Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum. I am your host, Dylan Murray, and I am joined by the third man, Scott E. Wrestling. Scott Edwards. How you doing, Scotty?
I'm doing just lovely today. I feel like I've totally haven't talked about what we're going to talk about at all, so this is new information for me. But we do have a show to review, so that's pretty cool, right? Like
Yes.
in non-jokes, there was wrestling to watch with this company, which I think for many people will hopefully help the next couple months. I know there's a lot of people that aren't fully invested right now, and I can't blame them. I mean, you did lose a co-host over it. So
Yeah. Alex decided that he, much like the rest of Stardom, will be waiting out his contract, and we'll be making a decision at a later date. Actually, they're lucky they get to make their decision later. The girls in Stardom had to make their decision a few days ago. Um,
mhm.
Alex has taken his goddamn time. But for the weeks that Alex is not here, I will more than likely have Scott on here. If Scott gets tired of talking about this, which I don't know how he already isn't, or if he just gets tired of talking to me, I will probably get a different replacement every once in a while, just because I don't want to force Scott to be here every single week. Um, with that being said, if he's okay with being here every single week, he will be here every single week until Alex returns. Hopefully. Love you, Alex. Miss you.
The
um,
hopefully got me.
yeah.
Ooh. Hope
Uh,
we
when
don't
they
know.
do return, we don't know if this will be Stardom Quest. That's the crazy thing.
There's a conversation to be had that Alex has ditched the favorites that he has of
Yeah,
Mina.
yeah. I
And
mean, I don't know if you know,
funny.
but
We spent the past year having to hear about Mina, and now look at this.
yeah, like Mina's waving the Stardom flag.
She said
Big
Stardom was fine.
homie's a big Tam Nakano fan, so obviously that's really breaking him up. Um,
If anything, that should
uh,
give him all the confidence. She ain't going anywhere.
Exactly. Like I don't know, but we'll see. We will hear from our lovely friend Alex at a later date. But for now, I'm here with Scotty. Scotty, I listen to Ring Post Radio, so it's hard. I wanted to talk about things that like you didn't already like talk about word for word, but it's very difficult because it's like it's the most important thing. Um,
Hey,
so
as
we
long as
we
you
will
don't ask me questions like Ryan does, we'll be
That
fine.
was very funny. I found that very funny. Um, will this be NXT Japan? No.
Oh my god.
I love that so much. But before we actually start, I do want to do a few plugs. We are, of course, a podcast on the Five Star Network. So go check out fivestarnetwork.co for all of the stuff over there. Check out the Five Star Network YouTube channel for the latest episode of the No Limit Wrestling Show. Me and Xavier reviewed Gaia Double Destiny 1999, which was the last singles match between the Crush Gals. It is also the climax of the Gaia Hantai versus SSU versus Nostradamus feud. It was a great show. It's the best show that we've reviewed so far on No Limits. So we had a great time with it, and I would suggest anybody go out their way to see it because um, a lot of times it will be me and Xavier hating, but this is not one of those times. We were just kind of having a good time. It was
What
really
a
fun.
crazy idea to just pick shows that you guys don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I was searching for the show where Rossi Ogawa beat Yumika Hoda recently, because I wanted to watch that for No Limit, but it's very hard to find that era of Arjan, so we will see. But yeah, it was a great show. Obviously, I mean, it's kind of peak guy, and yeah, I suggest anybody go check that out on the YouTube. It'll be all over my Twitter if you want to check out my Twitter to find the link to that. Listen to that when you're done with this, and watch that. Actually, it's a slideshow. There's like pictures and shit. That's the first.
Yeah.
It's not just audio this time. It's on YouTube. It's a video. It's great. Um, Otherwise, go check out all the other podcasts over there, because we have some great peeps on this network. But I suppose it is time for Rossi Watch 2024. I don't know if y'all watch the Daily Show, but Jon Stewart came back. He did the Democracy 2024 game. You know what I mean? Indecision 2024. If this was a video podcast, it would have the big, like, the hawk and everything. It'd be really cool. Rossi Watch 2024. So I recorded early last week. I recorded on Tuesday because I was sick, and I knew it was going to get a lot worse from there, and it did. So there's actually quite a few things to be said. First of all, this is just a broad thing. A lot of people have shown support for Rossi's next venture, such as Fuka and Taka Michinoku, as well as others.
AEW fans.
Definitely. Um, They love that. No, but there was a lot of people coming out in support of Rossi. He even said it in the Bull Nakano interview, which we will talk about a little bit later, that he got way more support than he was expecting from this move, and he really appreciated it both domestically and overseas. He actually specifically noted that he was kind of shocked how many people overseas like gave a fuck. Um, so yeah, that's the reaction to Rossi has been generally positive, and anybody who is negative has just been kind of quiet or it doesn't really matter, such as AEW fans. Um, in
Nice.
in in this
Yeah.
case, at least, I like AEW, but like in this case, at
As I
least,
call them, the
they don't
AEW
matter.
Legion of
Yeah,
fans.
the Legion's opinion on what Rossi Okawa does next doesn't really matter much to
Th-
me.
there's different. This is a different podcast. I'm gonna go a little ring post radio mode here for a second. I apologize.
You're all good. You're all good.
But there's different kinds of AEW fans.
Mhm.
There's ones like myself who enjoy the product, and
Yeah.
I that's why I watch it. I'll talk about the wrestling, and then there's the ones that live and die by the millionaire, and everything he says on Twitter, and it's those ones
Oh,
that
don't worry. He's a billionaire. You could. That's
well, yeah, I forgot. Well, his dad is.
yeah.
Um, so, you know, he has a lot of money though, obviously.
Nepotism
He
for
is
the
a
win.
billionaire. I forgot if his dad was a billionaire. That's why I changed it. But yeah, you're right.
That's valid.
Um, but yeah, I just like and those fans, they see poaching, they run with that. There's a difference. There's just a very advanced story here that I'm happy to come on this show and talk about, even if I've talked about it here, there, and everywhere over the past week.
It is kind of funny that they were like, "How dare a motherfucker poach?" It's like, oh, that's a crazy standpoint from an AEW fan. Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
but
Will Ospreay signed before
yeah,
the
I don't know if
contract
y'all
was
know
up.
who Will Ospreay is, but I don't know, something fishy about that. But I have three sources that we will go through mainly. Um, Mainly two of them. One of them we'll kind of like touch on. First off is Meltzer. He talked about it in the recent Wrestling Observer newsletter. A few things, actually, quite a few things. That wrestlers who are leaving at the end of March were required to make their intentions known to Bushiroad by February 9th, so that they can get all their belts in order and shit. Because obviously, Taro Okada mentioned that some champions will be leaving. It is confirmed that there are champions who have the utmost intention of leaving the company at the end of March. Um, few other things is that Rossi is the financial backer of the new promotion because he's fucking rich after the 2019 Bushiroad deal. Um, Bushiroad. Oh yeah, we'll talk about some of the things that Bushiroad did in the past year that kind of made Rossi a bit upset. But before that, the other thing of kind of note going forward is that half the wrestlers in the 13th anniversary tag team match will be leaving imminently.
At
Two of them are
least,
stuck in their
right?
contracts. Well, no, it's half of them. Yeah, it's at least because one of them is unsure as
Mhm.
of the what would this be, the ninth or the 8th or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as of around the 8th, there was one wrestler that their status was not known, and one of them is Giulia. So two are stuck, one is unsure, one is Giulia, and four are definitely leaving
You can figure out which one's
imminently.
stock,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Um, and you could figure out one of the people who are leaving is definitely Nanai. So other than that, like we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm trying to keep Stardom Quest as as non-speculative as possible. But at the same time, when we review that show, there's going to be some speculation because there are some people who
Yeah.
I don't know. Going
Yeah.
to what Bushiroad did in the past year, Bushiroad were the ones who made the calls to put the red belt on both Tam and Micah, making it unsurprising that those two were like the first people to express their loyalty to Stardom. Um, Tam was actually a bit of a messy situation. I'm not going to get into all of it, but it appears as though because Giulia was unhappy with the Mayukihi match, even though she did do business, they considered her being difficult to work with as means and reason enough to strip her of the red belt and give it to Tam. Crazy. And then Micah makes a little bit more sense. Micah was kind of the hot hand, but Rossi was like, "Oh well, let's plan for the future because Suzu definitely has more of a future." And they're like, "Yeah, but Micah." So Micah, I get a lot more than the Tam thing. The Tam thing is kind of icky.
As I've been
Um,
saying, hashtag Rossi was right.
yeah, a little bit. Maybe a bit. And then this isn't just via Meltzer, but it's via pretty much everyone, including herself. Mayu is very upset. According to Meltzer, she will likely be free from her contract sometime within the next year and a half or so. Her
9 to
contract does
12
not
months.
go. Yeah, 9 to 12 months is what he said. Her contract doesn't go past next year. So you know, but yeah, every outlet that you can find is making sure you know, including herself, that Mayu is very upset with the current situation, right? I mean, there
Yeah.
was a video that uploaded or that went up earlier, where she kind of broke down backstage after talking about Mina, and just like it was a rough watch, quite frankly. Mayu's in a rough spot considering all of this with the belt she has, with the movie coming out, with her long term contract. All of this is just it's definitely got to be weighing on her, as we've
I'll
seen,
I'll
unfortunately.
s I'll say this, I
Mm.
I don't think they keep her the whole year. I think there's gonna come a time eventually where fans speak about it enough and, she's very visibly upset if you watch the shows, and we'll get to it.
Yep.
She's doing her best, obviously, like, when the bell rings, she puts on a show because that's what she does. But I mean, if you've followed me or listened to me on anything, I've been very adamant. Like the only thing I care about in this whole situation is how this ultimately goes for her at the end of the day. I have some confidence that all will be right by the end of 2024, but that's still a lot of time, and we have to get to May 1st because that's when the movie comes out.
Yeah. I've been of the opinion that it's like, okay, well, as much as I would love it if they just let Mayu leave now, I get that they need to keep her for the movie. Um, but past May, it starts getting a bit like, okay, I feel for her. I mean, I feel for her now, obviously, but post May, it's gonna become difficult, right? Especially if her feelings towards it doesn't change much, which I can't imagine they will change enough to where it isn't difficult. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I
It's
think
it's
it'll
a
get
rough
worse.
situation.
I think there's a chance to
It
get
very
worse
possibly can.
because the announcement of the new promotion and wrestlers leaving, like, and not being able to go whenever the time comes. Because listen, folks, if you haven't figured out yet, she ain't staying, and I can't
Yeah.
stress that enough. Like, this is not someone that's going to debate if she's staying or not. She is going to be gone whenever the time comes, and it just sucks if you're a fan of her, like, of course, myself, and it's my main problem with all of this, and it will be that way time and time again until something happens, and again, unfortunately, we just don't know when that will be, which I think, for me, is the worst part because you see the
Yeah.
video, like, was posted today after the cork, and, you see her do her entrance, you see the tweets, you see the interviews, and it's just it breaks your heart, and hopefully sooner than later, we can get back and she can, you know, be where she wants to be.
Yeah, and one little note that I took from a different interview she did, is a lot of people I think don't get Mayu very much because like a lot of people brought up the point that she wanted to get paid more in her last contract when she was negotiating that. Um and a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, Rossi's not gonna be able to pay her that much." First of all, if Rossi's gonna fucking pay anybody, he's paying Mayu. Like,
Yeah.
if he's gotta give everybody else crumbs to get Mayu what she deserves, he will. I mean, he won't, but he will. You know what I mean? Like, let's. Um,
Mhm.
but second of all, Mayu did an interview like a day after all this happened, talking about the fact that it's like uh, she she's like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to like wrestle in like all of the like super big stages in America, but like I get homesick. You know,
Yeah.
I don't really want to leave
Yeah.
Japan that much. Like, you know, I'll go over there for a bit, like for like a couple matches or something. But like, I, don't- I like my dogs. I like my house. You know, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And I think people kind of like underestimate the very. I don't want to call her simple, but I don't. I think people like kind of think of like Mayu as like this like mastermind when it's like I think she just wants to do what she loves and like be
Mhm.
around the people that she trusts and enjoys being around. And losing Rossi is obviously a huge blow. As anybody who knows their relationship um, should know, right? Like it's just historically. Um, I think you said on Ring Post that it's like there's no there are few greater showings of loyalty than Mayu to Rossi. Like I don't know if
Mhm.
anybody is more loyal in professional wrestling than Mayu is to Rossi. So it's going to be very difficult, and that's definitely like Scotty said, it's definitely going to be one of the harder parts of this. As somebody who's excited, relatively speaking, I'm like, oh, this could be really cool for all parties involved. Um, the biggest downside, the biggest like bummer is the Mayu of it all because
Yeah.
you just want homegirl to be where she wants to be and give it her all. And it's a shame that it's unlikely to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get fully excited about anything because of that.
Mm.
It's why I keep like saying like, all right, we'll see where we are in a year because that's in my mind when she gets to get out. My guess is probably January. Um, that lines up with the year, 9 months. I'm gonna guess her contract doesn't come at the end of the year because
We could probably figure it
Fujiwara
out
doesn't do
because
that.
We because like I was saying with the Kyrie match, we know well, we were alerted when she signed that contract,
Yeah,
relatively.
yeah, that's
So
true. Well,
and
she
it's probably a
lost. Yeah.
2 year.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, she
it's
did
gonna be a
lose
2 year,
Kyrie.
so it would be probably towards the end of the year. She agreed. She obviously Kyrie got the belt first, but I'm
Mhm.
sure she signed a new contract
She either
soon
signed a new
after that.
contract she signed that contract the winter,
Yeah,
of so, yeah, it would be sometime this upcoming winter, I would assume.
yeah,
Um Yeah, so that's the Meltzer of it all, as well as just some Maya testimony. I don't plan on going on a full rundown of Fumi Sayato's stuff, who talked about it on the Pacific Rim
probably a safe
podcast.
bet. Yeah.
But I do want to note a couple things. So,
Mhm.
one thing, this is a very small thing, but I realized that some people don't know because I was talking to Peps and he didn't really know this. Um, Fumi alludes at one point to a girl with a hood wanting to leave. Uh, and uh Peps is
Mayu has a
like,
hood.
yeah, Peps is like, wait, but like Mayu and Ruaka wears a hood. A hood in wrestling terms means a mask.
Mhm.
So that means that's okay, right? That means they're like it.
Yeah, yeah,
Whether or not he's right on that, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's okay, he's leaving. But that's what he was referring to. If you listen to his comments,
yeah.
'cause I know
When
some people
talking about
probably
the
got a bit
kid,
confused.
um, I think people like we've heard some rumblings over the past year or so about her, but I think people forget the connection she has. Obviously, she's been in Stardom forever,
Yeah,
um, under Rossi's supervision, so there's a connection there. But there's also the connection to Mayu that I can't stress enough. And while they're not together anymore and they're different people, that doesn't just change because they're in different
yeah,
factions. And I think that also plays a part. I think he also said Azumi as well, which I don't think
So
really
the
he's
funny thing
ever
is,
shock.
that he said, like they're two junior wrestlers, the pretty girl and the one with the hood. Uh, the one they'll probably. I was like, it's crazy that Azumi's the pretty girl. Like that's just very funny to me. like
The
oh,
pretty
the pretty one. It's like that doesn't really narrow it down, but
no,
shit,
but
okay.
people can connect. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
as he
Uh,
started like describing it more, it's like okay, so that's a Zumian kid.
mhm.
But it was funny the way that like the way he described them was the girl with the hood and the pretty one. It's like
Yeah, he ended up calling them, like, junior wrestlers if it
yeah.
was a Puro company, so you
And
can
then a couple
connect that.
other things is that Fumi noted that that most of the schematics of the company are sorted out for Rossi. He's making the belts, the logo is done, the name is done. It's all um certified, like because you have to certify a new company. You have to like it's all real. As far as Fumi Saito knows, it's all real. It's just a matter of him announcing it. And also a couple other things is that he says 6 main event level wrestlers will jump, and he says that 5 foreign wrestlers will be um, working with the company in its infancy. So those are notable, but also like I don't want to discredit Fumi as a source, but I'm not going to take everything he says with full um I don't know what the word is. I'm not going to fully buy into every single thing he says. Just because
I
sources
think
are
people
sources.
should believe him, though. I mean, he has the
Yeah,
direct
I mean, on what I've said, of the things I've said,
yeah,
I believe him on all of them. Like the idea
yeah.
that Kid and Izumi want to leave, but they kind of can't right now.
If there's anything to fully believe him on, it's the idea of the logos and the
Yeah,
like, that is
that's
essentially
something
one
Rossi would tell him.
conversation with Rossi, right.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I got it all sorted, man.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
cooking.
that's the one thing that I would say, obviously we'll know hopefully sooner rather than later, what everything ends up being, but I I know a lot of people when it came to that interview, they said like, "Oh, what do I believe?" I was like, "Well, I would believe probably most of the schematics because that is uh again from Rossi presumably, right?
Yeah,
Like we're not I don't know if that conversation happened to be exact, but
because
everyone
like
says he has a Rossi bias. Why do you think he has a Rossi bias? Because they have
because
a
they've been
relationship.
friends for like 40 years. I don't
Right,
know.
like, come on,
Um,
man.
but yeah, I think something like that is definitely like a obvious in comparison to something where it's like I don't presume Fumi Saito sat down and talked with a Zumian kid type of thing, right?
Right,
Um,
right.
so like Rossi being like, oh yeah, I'm sorted out on a lot of the schematics here. Um, that's a lot more like
We're gonna
pretty
hear
much set
things
in
about
stone.
wrestlers until the end of March,
Oh, definitely.
so
And I'm
it's
excited. I think Jordan Patu said that it's like this feels like it's like a transfer window in like
yeah,
a normal
it
sport
does.
where it's like
It
the fuck's going on.
it would be nice. This is just me. I would love
Mm,
if one wrestler was just like, "Yeah, I'm not staying. I'm outta here. See you
be
later."
great.
Like Mayu's interview with Tokyo Sports, like, in the most, like, professional way possible because she's still under contract,
Was
said
that?
it because she was like, "I don't know about my future." I was like, "Well, there you go, because like, she does technically know what her future is. She's under contract for a year, but she's like, I the moment I'm
We'll
outta
see.
here, I'm outta here."
Yeah.
Yeah, but for now, we wait, but that's gonna be the fun of, going over this show from Saturday as well.
Yes.
Saturday? Sunday, sorry. I skipped Saturday,
Well,
I think.
no, we there's a Saturday one, there's a Sunday one, and then there's a yesterday one. Um.
No, because it
Oh,
was
upcoming.
Sunday,
Are you
Monday.
talking
No,
about?
this past
Right.
week, it was Sunday, Monday.
Man, days don't matter. Um.
That's true. It was a weekend.
Yeah,
There
it
you
was a
go.
weekend. And then lastly, the newest bit of news, as far as I know, was via the Bull Nakano channel on YouTube.
She knew what to
Two of
do.
the two of the best interviews that she's ever dropped with Mika Takahashi, who is the youngest looking 55-year-old of all time, and with Rossi Ogawa, who looks exactly 66. Um, Yeah, so Rossi said a couple things. He said that he feels energized, and he's really excited for his next move. He says he's pretty much just waiting for the right moment to publicly set things in motion. He's kind of just taking the time to relax before he kind of gets right back into it. Noting that he is getting right back into it, and he's excited to continue working. He also says that because he'll be 67 in May, this will be the beginning of his last challenge in professional wrestling, and that he plans as his end goal to properly pass the company on to the next generation, whatever that means. Um, I imagine it means like Nanai. I don't know, like but so he's kind of he recognizes his age in that he's like, okay, um, I want to do this, but I also recognize that I'm going to put better plans in place to make sure that like my vision is carried forward. Um, yeah, I thought that the what he said in the interview regarding that was really insightful. Um, I do find it interesting.
They shot on Sukuban. Me too.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. Bull's like, yeah, I'm doing this
Well,
project. He's like, yeah, it sounds like shit, homegirl. I saw some of it. I don't know. You be easy. I don't know about all that. Um, Rossi's such a shit starter, man. He does not give a single fuck. It's great.
no,
Um,
no, I like to
it's
remind everyone, you just gotta go look at the wrestler's, documentary he did.
hmm
Like, he
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
some people
"Yeah,
were like, yeah, I
I'm not
don't.
worried about
Sometimes I
anyone."
wonder if he actually like cares about me like at all. But I know he does. But like, also, does he? Who's to say? Um, but yeah, so that's most of Rossi Watch, unless you have anything that I might have missed that you know of. That is
Uh,
public information at least.
let me think. You did the Giulia thing with
Yeah,
um,
that's
got
wild stuff.
Tam committing, real original Tam.
Oh yeah, Tam
Uh,
was the first person to firmly announce that she will be staying. Um,
yeah.
while Micah and Mina kind of were like, "Oh yeah, I plan on keeping this shit safe." Tam was like, "Oh fuck Rossi, I'm staying, bitch." Which was also funny because Fumi compared her to, and again, this is Fumi's opinion. It's not any reporting on my part. I just find it funny that he
Yeah,
basically compared to her to an American when it comes to
yeah,
her loyalty as a as a professional wrestler,
that's
and that is
nasty.
like the nastiest thing you could say about about a wrestler
He
is
essentially
man,
said
there is
she is
loyal as a fucking
reverse
American.
Mayu,
Yeah, yeah, insane.
which we all agree on anyways, but, yeah, I mean, Tam staying makes sense, and it's the
Hmm.
biggest here's the way I look at Tam's thing. To me, it is major for Bushiroad/Stardom, but she wasn't, like, one of the big blocks to fall in all this, right? Like,
Hmm.
very important for them because she's so popular and she was the MVP and all this stuff. Like, that's huge for them moving forward, especially when they have to fight through all this uncertainty.
Yeah.
But I think there's, like, 5 or 6 people ahead of her in terms of what was important of who the what side they pick, and that's not including Julia either. That's not including, well, Mayu, we don't really count because we know what she's picking. Um, so that's kinda how I feel with Tam. That's not a shot at her, but, like, she's obviously on the older side. She's teased retirement 75 times, like,
That's correct.
there's a limit here, you know? And for them, she will be someone that they can lean on because listen, there is now a Bushiroad mindset to booking here. And if you look at New Japan, who do they lean on? They lean on their most popular stars. That is very important for them. So Tam will be
Mhm.
very important for them.
Um, yeah, I think I was talking about it with someone, excuse me, that I think it was Peps. Peps mentioned that it's like this would be a net positive for most people, for like 99% of the roster, in the end at least. And I said, well, it depends, because some people can definitely choose wrong, right?
Yep,
Um, Tam chose correctly, in my opinion. I think
absolutely.
that as did Micah, presumably. They're
I mean,
both
they
people
made her a
who
world champion.
exactly. They're both people who Bushiroad really put their backing behind. They're both people who I think Rossi kind of saw as like Rossi always saw Tam as like a star, but not a lot of that was from Bushiroad. Even looking back to when Bushiroad purchased the company, they're like, okay, so our first order of business is Tam as the star. Um, and that's like, oh shit,
Well,
okay,
well, well, well,
that
things
did happen.
happened
Well,
for
yes.
that
Well,
to
no,
happen.
but even before that, like when they were talking about who they want moving forward, they included Tam and not Momo, which at the time was unheard
That's
of.
true. That's true.
Because
But
like there was reports that's like, okay, these are like the six people that Bushiroad is really putting their stock into, and Tam was the sixth, and Momo wasn't involved, and everybody was like, wait, but Momo's like the like because at that point Momo was like a top five, top 3 star in the company. So Bushiroad has always been what was behind Tam. Ultimately, I
yeah,
think Rossi obviously was a fan of Tam's as well. I think he saw the profit in her and like what she could do. But those are two people, Tam and Micah, that Bushiroad will highlight more than Rossi would. Where someone like a Suzu might want to go to Rossi because I don't know if she will be as highlighted. Or Mirai is probably a better example. Um, I think Mirai is one of those people that Rossi likes, and would probably put her in a decent positioning. It's very possible she loses rank um, amongst Bushiroad if she stays. Uh, and there are people like that, right? So while this would be great for the rosters, in my opinion, like it'll be really cool for the landscape overall, there are definitely correct moves and bad moves, and I think Tam and Micah both made the correct move in this for themselves. So, um,
I I
yeah.
think they're and I talked about this on one of my shows, and I talked about this with someone, not necessarily my shows, but with people on
Mm,
shows. There's a lot of shows. Um, that while it may be a positive for many of us, like on the outside looking in, we have to recognize that like what's about to happen. There is a reality where friends will not be in the same company
mhm.
anymore. Rivals will not be facing each other anymore.
While I
Stuff
imagine they stay together, there's a not there's not is not impossible that the Minami sisters do not work in the same company anymore.
that is
Like I imagine
true.
they stick together, but
I assume they do, but you never know.
yeah.
I could see any of maybe that's one of the tougher ones, because they're sisters here, but ultimately, like, you get the point. There is a lot of separation that's going to be happening that we don't fully know about yet, but it's gonna change the landscape for better or for worse. But I try to pay attention to the wrestlers' like actual feelings in a lot with this because we can dream and hope for all these different scenarios, but I am sure that this past week, and this next month and a half is not easy for any of them, and
No.
you're seeing it on these shows. Like, they are so good like, some of them are just so good at working through things, obviously, but, you know, for every Mina, there is a Mayu, where
Mhm.
you see the you see the emotion on the sleeve, and I think that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough for the next month and a half.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. I think that is Rossi Watch 2024 done for this week. Um, Obviously, we will continue to report back and kind of go through some of this stuff as it continues to develop because it is the biggest developing story in Joshi wrestling. So, yeah. Sorry, Scott, you're in it for the long haul.
It's okay,
um,
as long as my pitch of the Inaba is working for one of these companies happens, I am fine.
Oh yeah, that's something that I didn't bring up because I kind of skipped over it. Is the Fuka and Taka thing kind of coming out in support of Rossi? Uh, at least the Taka thing, not as much the Fuka thing, even though they both are presidents of their respective companies. Um, I think the Taka thing kind of leads me to believe that it's very possible that the Inabas become regulars for Rossi, um, which would be sick in my opinion. Um, Rossi clearly likes them. That's something that you kind of have to look at is that like Rossi was in charge of New Blood and not as much Showcase, but mainly New Blood and also just kind of doing Showcase. Um, so you look at the people he wanted to use there a lot, and you kind of have to think it's like, huh, maybe he wants to, so maybe people like the Inabas will be on his radar to kind of have on the roster. Maybe not full time. Maybe they stay with JTO for the most part, but I could definitely see him wanting them around for his next venture.
Hey man, just to laugh real quick. I know we're on air,
Mhm.
but QT Marshall went back to AEW.
Really? That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, for those who want Rossi to go back to Stardom, I don't count on that. I would I would love the
I mean,
Inabas.
they had the same criticism as getting too much like New Japan. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
except
I
one of
would
them was valid, one of them
I
wasn't.
would love the Inabas to pop up, and I think going to Rossi's promotion makes a lot of sense because I think there's gonna be a lot of flexibility just based off of I don't know, I don't think Rossi's gonna sign every talent he uses to full-time contracts. That's not what he did back in the day,
Mhm.
right? Like, that's, you know, what many people love about Stardom up until the Bushiroad purchase was the amount of usage of outside talents and things like that. So I kind of am excited, and the Inaba should just be part of the promotion anyways. But that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. I want to see them wrestle. Okay,
And
God.
do you know how fucked up it is that it is very likely that um that we will never see Sari versus Azusa or Sari versus Tomoka, which are both singles matches that
Are
have or
poss
are
or
happening.
are happening, yeah. It's nuts. That's nasty. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
God, why? Why? It's 2024. Let's record things and, like, let people see them. God.
We need Just Five Guys Mania. We talked about that the other day, but we need
Mhm.
Just Five Guys Mania
I
immediately.
mean, we watched the Zeus and Naba versus Nanase that lasted 2 minutes and 27 seconds, and it was great. So,
Yeah, it was like hilarious how well she was just like, okay, I'm just gonna break your leg now. Cool, cool.
she's
She's a
sick.
real one.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, I think it's time for the review section. We're finally here.
Ooh.
Uh, It is. We only have one show to review. The other show has not gone up. The other two shows have not gone up, I should say. The show we have to review is Stardom in Fuji 2024. They drew a house of 506 fans. This is a like crowd wise. This is a really good show. I thought that the crowd felt lively for a house show. It sounded nice. The
It was
Oedo Tai
nice.
family was there, which is
They
always wonderful to see. Yeah, I thought the overall the atmosphere in this card was really good, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I think it set the tone. I don't think any match, like, jumped off the page here or anything,
No,
because it was, circumstances, house show, like, there's a lot to, uh, go here, but it definitely helped the atmosphere kinda heading in, 'cause I turned on the show and I was like, "Oh, thank God," like, at least the crowd's lively so that can
yeah,
that's if there's anything that's gonna help the wrestlers, it's that. So, that was nice to see.
yeah, no, I totally agree. I watched almost this entire show.
I ended up
Scotty
watching
kind
it
of.
all of it. I
Oh, you
ended up
did?
watching all of it, yeah.
Um,
I talked myself into everything.
see, you could not talk me into a Unimon Tam tag. That
That was
also
actually pretty
features
good.
Waka. I saw the ending sequence of it with Unimon and Micah, and I liked that. But
Yeah, that was real.
bell to bell, I didn't really.
I'll give you well, you didn't watch it besides the end, but I will give my thoughts on that when we get there.
Okay. Um, well, the first match was Yuzuki and Saida of Stars defeating wait, not Aya Sakurai. Karara. Wait. Uh, I
Sayaka
fucking hate.
Karara and
I
Mai
hate how.
Sakurai.
Yeah, that I hate how many Sakurai's, Karara Sayakas. There's it's it's all fucked. Um, yeah, Yuzuki pinned Karara Sayaka in 9 minutes with the rolling arrow. Hot take: rookie's good.
Dude, they're so good.
They're really good.
Like,
Yeah.
half the reason I'm happy to do the show is just to talk about the rookies. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, they're awesome. They're awesome, and
Karara, I
Takuya,
know.
of course.
I feel like we talk about this very frequently, me and you, both on air and off air. That
Oh,
like
yeah.
Karara is absurdly good.
She's real.
especially to be ranked last of the bunch.
I think it's
Um,
bullshit that she's ranked last. Can I say that? I think
no,
it's bullshit.
you're valid. I
She
think that
she's hitting
she's really
spears like Goldberg, man.
she showed out in the tag matches, whereas I don't
Yeah.
think like even Rana has as much. Um,
Yeah,
like
Ron
Raw
only kicked
really
Asm in the
stands
face
out.
once, and that's all that I needed. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think since like the first month of their overall debut, Sayaka has started to be the standout between those two. But Rana still rocks, obviously. Like,
they're all really good, but I think
yeah,
in tag matches, Carrara just really brings something. Like she brings this babyface energy that is
yeah.
needed sometimes.
I
Um, yeah,
I can
good.
say this comparison on air now, because I said it to Alex way back. It was like after a second first match. I think I tweeted this out. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I don't know what I did with it, but I did say it somewhere. I put it in a Discord. Never mind. I didn't tweet it out. Uh, I think after like her third normal match, I looked at Sayaka and I was like, she has a underdog babyface
Mm,
likability about her that young Tam had, like before Tam became like,
mm, what she is
you
now.
know, yeah, yeah. And I think that's going to help her a lot in getting very popular very quickly. Um,
I mean, if she was in TGPW, she'd be fucking international champion by now.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. She's awesome though. And like
she's
she
great. Yeah.
in this match, she literally picked up like Yuzuki. Like I've never seen a spear hit like this before. She
Mm,
picked up Yuzuki, moved back, and then just speared her. And I was like,
yeah.
I don't know why. That was awesome.
She's like, get your ass up and stay right there, and then she fucking takes her out.
And the
Uh,
crowd
she
roared for it.
and she takes punishment, man. Like Ida
Yeah.
back chopped her.
Yes.
Disgusting. It was her back was
Yeah.
red for the rest of the match. It was like it was fucked. Like
Yeah.
Carrara has something. She's great at selling. She has that underdog babyface comeback type of thing. It's just a matter of like putting more moves in her moveset, and she'll be a really great like mid carder before she probably moves up to being like a just great wrestler.
I don't know what you're
Um,
talking about next year. She's gonna be the Wonder Champ based
hell yeah.
off of how the roster's gonna be.
Now, what's the comparison to AJW? It would be like she like the Momoe Nakanishi,
That's pretty sick.
where it's like they're like, yeah, she's really good, but like like we don't really
Yeah.
need to use her that much, and then they're like, we need her to win everything now, immediately. Um,
Between her and Yuzuki, it's like unfair that they also have Hanako and Rana.
yeah,
And Yuzuki was obviously great in this, but shouldn't need praise as much.
yeah,
Good.
Mizuki's good, like everybody
Good.
knows that. After the match, my Sakurai starts talking shit to Wingori. Um, as you do, they were building to the New Blood tag that's happening this weekend, and Sakurai kicked Ida out of the ring before Hanan said, "But she won. Like she won the match." And then my Sakurai's,
Yep.
"I don't care. Go, leave." And he just is like, "Fine, whatever, bitch. I guess. I guess I'll leave." Which I found very funny because like Hanan was like, but that's not how this works. What?" And then there's like,
Fair
"What? Yeah,
point.
whatever."
The fair point.
Very fair
But
point.
that's this is the My Sakurai way. She gets to do her promo and we
Mhm.
we accept it.
If she doesn't leave, my Sakurai does have a chance of actually winning the Cinderella. Like we were making jokes about it at one point. Uh,
That's very true.
we'll see. Um, or she'll go with Rossi and win whatever his version of a Cinderella is. Anyway, moving forward, it was
I
a
don't know
triple
about
threat match. Yeah, moving forward, it was a triple threat match. Momo Watanabe defeated Lady C with the B driver in 8 minutes. The other participant was Mirai. Um,
that. I was vibing on the
Yeah,
show.
Mariah was vibing. Lady C was doing her bits and shit. She was having a good time. Momo not having a good time, but she
No.
she did dap up the Oedo Tai family. To be fair,
She
um,
did. She
you know,
did, but, like so she did, like, her entrance, right? And I
mm,
sent you the screenshot of her face because, like, once that stopped and, like, everyone else started to come out, she just had, like, this absolute, like I
disdain
don't
on
know,
her
she
face.
looked pissed. She looked pissed, and I was like, Uh-oh. Obviously, like, we all think Momo going would make the most sense, right? Like, let's
Yeah,
be honest, I'm not gonna say it for every wrestler on the show, but, like,
there are a couple.
that one makes too much sense, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Makes too much sense for it to be like I have not heard even like an inkling of a clue of anything to do with her. Like it's
yeah,
like she wasn't in the match, the big match, the 4-on-4
right.
match, obviously. But like
There's the problem.
yeah, no, I guess that's true. But it just feels like Momo is probably the biggest like she's going, right? She
Yeah, like,
right? Like
besides Mayu, it's like, this makes the most sense,
yeah,
right?
and it's yeah, I don't know.
Ah,
I hope that we start finding out some names soon enough, and we don't have to wait another month and a half to find out
she was
anything.
going, though, by the way, like, in the ring, she was
Oh yeah,
going. I was very happy
and
to see that.
that's another part of it is that like I feel like a lot of wrestlers just kind of like
Mhm.
have the Iceman to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Soriano was in this company like full time, we would never be able to read her face to know whether or not she fucking wanted to kill Rossy Ogawa or if she wanted to kill Taro God. Like we just wouldn't be able to know. We would just have
That's
to
how I
assume
felt
that she
about
does.
Utami.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are people like Momo, like Utami, like Ano, right? Who is just like
Mhm.
they're just stone cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking Steve Austin. Match itself was all right. It was okay.
I had a good time with it.
Yeah, it was all right.
It
I didn't
was
mind
nothing
it.
special.
Momo won and she hit the pose as she does.
Yeah.
Um,
And like I said, Mariah was having herself a time. I found
yes,
so like if anyone watched her entrance, she like got in the face of someone's camera that was taking pictures of everyone.
that's like her favorite bit.
And I found the post of it and it's hilarious.
Oh, you gotta send that to me.
I will. I will. I was like, that is hysterical. It's just like the biggest close up ever, and she's just absolutely cheesing. I was like, you know, this is one wrestler that if you're a fan of hers, I think she's gonna help a lot during this next whenever, like this I won't even say month and a half because then there's the part where people are gone, where it's like, all right, here we go. You
And
know,
there's
it's
the
like
part where a lot of wrestlers probably have longer contracts, you know? Like
exactly,
like
exactly.
I was talking about that as well, sorry to jump back to it, but like Suzu and Meisera signed their contracts at the end of April. So there's no way they're
Right,
getting out in 11 months. You know what I mean? Like
right, right.
I
Which
don't think that's how that would work.
you would think not, right? You would
Mhm.
but again, all of this is so like we're just guessing
Yeah, pretty
in many
much.
ways. But my expectation is that again, not every contract is expiring at the end of March. That would be
Mhm.
foolish of Bushiroad to ever let that happen. So,
Which is also why I think like looking at losses too heavily is kind of not the smartest way to go about this. I know like I
unless
love
it's
doing that.
Giulia.
Well yeah, but Julia. Julia won the main event today.
She did, which was
So
a little
yeah.
shocking, but you know, I have
But
my take on it.
that's
I
just how
don't.
50-50 works, you know. We'll talk about it next week, right? Um
Mhm.
but yeah, that's why I'm kind of like about like even like looking at losses too much, even though there is one loss on the show that I was like, huh, that's
Mhm.
interesting. But they kind of did 50-50. This company is their booking patterns off the bat are quite noticeable. Um, and we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But yeah, Mom won that match. Next up was the team of who won this match? Oh yeah, Micah and Waka of EXV defeated Unimon and Tam Nakano. Micah defeated Yuna with the Enka Toshi in 11 minutes. Homegirl couldn't even take her out with the Angel Killer. That's crazy. Um, yeah, no, I think Micah and Yuna have some good stuff together. I think they're a cool combo. I think they do the Hoss stuff, and Micah brings the best out of Yuna. I feel like Yuna is someone who sometimes you want a bit more out of, and when she's against the right person, you get more out of. And I think
Yeah.
Micah is one of those people. So I really like the closing stretch. I didn't watch the opening stuff much.
You didn't
Uh,
watch anything that involved Tam, just say it. Um,
Tamor Waka. I don't
Waka
even
was
dis
like
I don't even dislike
barely
Waka.
in this match, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember her being in this match, and I watched the whole thing.
That's always super fun. We watched that astronauts match where it was just like this is a handicap match. That motherfucker is not getting in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. And so here's my take on Micah versus Tam, which,
Mm.
by the way, is a very smart feud for them to run with right
Where do you
now.
think they're running it?
I think they're gonna hold it at this point to Buntai because I just don't see what else they would be running.
Yeah, but the
But
issue is go ahead, go ahead.
because well, the issue is that it's February. Um,
Yes, amongst other things.
that is a big issue, but we know these 2 are staying, and
Mhm.
in many ways, they might be the 2 because for all we know, they might be the 2 to lead with out of this
Yeah,
mess for this company. I will say this about the match itself. They are gonna have a they're either gonna have a excellent match, and I'll tell you why, or
mhm,
a match that absolutely misses everything.
yeah,
And it all comes down to styles. I'm gonna assume that they wrestled Micah's match. They wrestled Micah's match in this tag match, and they did really well.
mm,
If they wrestled Tam's match, it ain't gonna go well because I don't see Micah being able to do that. And Tam's just gonna go overboard probably. Um, anyways, but
yeah. I mean,
there's no
we look
like
at it. Some of the best Tam matches ever have been the Utami ones, and they were all Utami
mm,
style matches. You know what I mean?
right. It's when
Yeah,
Tam plays ball with the other style. The Saya matches, for example, the last one that they did,
mm.
at World Climax that I remember, not
Yeah, that was
the
good.
not the injury, obviously. Uh, I think that one was great because they went with the Saya match,
Mhm.
and that's what they're gonna have to do with Micah's reign, as they should, because she's the world champion, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, we'll also see if they default back once the tides get tough.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Um,
wouldn't be shocked if
my
Tam won the belt.
my issue, and this is, I know a lot of people will kind of come down on me for being like, oh, it's too early to kind of tell this. My issue is that there are things that they're definitely doing that are more New Japan esque,
Oh,
which I'm okay with.
100%.
But the issue is still the schedule. Um, the reason New Japan works is because they work in tours, right?
Mhm,
So you can work a tour. You could have all of these house shows that are kind of um, preview tags and pretty similar to the show that happened the day before it. But then you know uh, if it's a 3 week long tour, once a week, twice a week, there's a big show. Maybe not like a huge show, but like a sizable show where stuff actually happens. Um, the issue with this is that they do 2 shows a week every weekend. Um, and it's going to come to a point where not much is actually fucking happening. You
mhm.
know what I mean? Like, as we said, it's not unlikely that they hold this Micah Tam feud out until Buntai. And if not, still the earliest they could run it is 5 weeks from now. It's 5 weeks of
Yeah,
this match, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
that's difficult, to kind of work. So I'm hoping that they either find their own groove of how to kind of book these things, or, and I know people would not be fans of this, or they went with the tour approach, where they're like, okay, this is like a bunch of shows over 3 weeks. They get a week off. Bunch of shows over 3 weeks. Get a couple weeks off. Like that type of gimmick instead of
Yeah,
just a pay per view every couple months, and every single weekend is a preview to that pay-per-view basically. Or the Corkins, which obviously oh, I forgot to do the news, like the actual news. Uh, that's fucked. We'll get into the news after we do the review. Um but yeah, like the Corkin, for example, they're building to these Corkins, which is cool. But I don't know, it's I have some pause about how we're going to be doing the scheduling going forward. Even though they've reduced the schedule, I still wonder if they're maximizing the potential of this roster with their schedule.
well, what it is telling you is that you don't have to watch everything.
This is true.
Um, it because with the New Japan shows, they don't even air some of them, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm suffering this week as Fantastica Mania is not airing in
me
for
too. Me
3
too.
shows. Like it's stupid. Kind of angers me. But it's part of the New Japan system where okay, we're going to run LIJ versus
Just five
just 5
guys.
guys 75 times and it's for the crowds. It's not for us. It's not for us to watch. And I think that's kind of what I'm starting to adjust to
Hmm.
moving forward with
Which is
this
okay, but I think
company.
they need to optimize it better.
I think some wrestlers are better fit in a revolving system, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. It's the difference between a Puro and a New Japan and a Joshi. And I think it's gonna get very tiring very quickly. Um, but hopefully the hope is right that when the championship comes around, they're gonna be awesome. That's the one thing you kinda hope with. If you give these wrestlers so many chances to work through things and whether it just be hitting each other as hard as they can, I guess it's better than no prep like we had all of last year, right? Like we had
Yeah.
nothing instead. So, there's different ways to look at it.
And that was an interesting thing is that last year, I think last year was when they noticed that these house shows don't matter, and that's why they put so many tournaments in, right? And they elongated the
Mhm.
tournament schedules, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine that's a big part of it. And now this year, without, and I know everybody hated the Triangle Derby, but without the Triangle Derby, a lot of these house shows are just prelude tags to a match that's happening 3 weeks from now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that becomes the issue when you don't have that tight tournament schedule that they were running last year, which I personally, despite the injuries in the 5 star, which was obviously an issue, I thought that like the way that they did their tournaments, where it's like the tournaments are the big deal, I appreciate that. I think that's like I appreciated that, felt like it had direction, where it's like it felt like they were telling us, okay, tournaments are what matter. And it's like, okay, I can accept that. Whereas I think now I'm a little bit more like, okay, so what? So just the pay-per-views that happen every other month matter, and that's not as There's again, this is all early criticisms, but it's just a thought that I'm just like, I wonder how they can kind of work this into making just a generally more entertaining schedule while also not working these wrestlers to death. There's got to be a middle ground.
Yeah. And we also have to recognize we have first time bookers here.
Correct.
So the obvious thing for them to do is just follow New Japan, right?
Wait, so
Like,
wait. Actually, I think you're discrediting someone.
oh
Because
Jesus, don't do this.
Taro
Don't do
Okada
this.
was a booker.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
he was a booker, and he was known as Rough Dick, I believe.
Oh my god.
I believe it was.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Steve O. Rough Dick. Yes, that was his wrestling name.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah. Uh, I asked in the Discord who you got between Super Strong Manager Machine, which was Rossi Ogawa, because he was a manager at one point, and Steve O. Rough Dick, and a lot of people were choosing the machine, which is valid. Um, moving forward, by a lot of people I mean like the two other people in this recording Discord. Um, it's like it's me, Alex, Valke, and James. Like that's it. um, Next match was Queen's Quest versus God's Eye. Miyu Amasaki, Saya Kamitani, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita defeated Shuri, Amisore, Saki Kashima, and Rana Yagami. Miyu won over Rana in 14 minutes with the Go to Heaven, Tensei, whatever you want to call it. Uh, this was fun. This was the first match that I was like, this is good. This is this is a good match. Not great, but it was a good match. Azumi made Ami
It's
look like a million
Yakizuki?
bucks,
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
like
This is good.
actively. I was like, damn, Ami needs to wrestle Azumi more because she actually looks like great right now.
You just heard yourself, right? You don't actually want that to happen
No, but for
'cause you
Ami,
know
I
who's
do.
gonna
But
start
as a
losing.
as a fan, I don't. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You yeah, you know who's gonna start taking losses if that happens, and we don't want that. We don't want that. I agree with you though. I think oftentimes with these two teams, you kind of just expect that, even
Mhm.
with my doubts amongst others. Like the Queen's Quest team just always makes everyone look better.
Yeah.
Um, as Osmi did with Ami Saray. Uh, Nothing here like I think sometimes the best thing I could say about a match is like there's not necessarily anything that stood out to me like a lot, but it was just a good watch, like an easy,
Yeah.
good watch. I thought Amasaki looked good in the end. Um,
Miyu has
I
gotten a similar buff to Hanako with the rookies coming in.
yes,
Because
yes,
she just has like this. I wish it wasn't overused, and I say this every week, but she has this sort of aura, this sort of like vibe to her that's just like above others, right? Like
yeah,
it's she has the Queen's Quest vibe, in fact, kind of
yeah. She
for the
does.
first time. I don't think she's ever really had that before. She's kind of like gotten a vibe of what she's meant to be, kind of. And I think that's
If
really
she
done wonders
stays with
for her.
Stardom, she's gonna benefit a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean she's
I like her. I
if
think
if
she's
she stays
done
and
quite good.
if Azumi's stuck there at least through whenever Fumi says she's
02
probably
line,
staying.
baby.
Yeah, Utu line might be tag champs. I'm not gonna lie.
I love O2 line, so that's okay with me.
I think they're sick. Yeah, I mean
I
obviously.
have like nothing to say about the God's Eye team. I thought everyone looked fine.
Shuri
Sure,
did
sure,
well
he kicked
opposite
someone really
Saya and
hard
Azumi.
once.
I think it was Azumi.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. That's all
Oh, and
that's
Saya was beating the fuck out of Rana for a bit. I was like,
yeah,
damn,
she
she's
was, she
stiffing this
was.
kid.
Yeah, she was. That's crazy. Saya was, very lively on the show, as she
Mm,
often is, which,
yes,
again, as someone that's over analyzing every emotion on these shows, it's nice to see the ones that are very, positive and bright, which Saya, of course, was.
yes, correct. Next up was the team of Mina Shirakawa, Hanako Ueda, and the returning Xena, defeating the Stars team of Hanan, Mayu Iwatani, and Hazuki. Xena defeated Hazuki with a touch of thunder in 17. Who the fuck decided to? Oh my god! Wait. Oh my god! I
What?
didn't even notice that. They increased all of the time limits.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
To what, 30?
20.
Oh, so they
Because
made
they were all
everything 20.
15 until the main
Yeah.
event. Now the main
You
event is
think they
still
have a
30.
clue?
The main event is 30, and
Well,
then
that's good, I guess.
these are 20. That sucks.
Hmm.
Because I was like, damn, this is going a long ass time
I like
for
the
a
match, to
semi
be
main
fair.
event. Oh yeah, it was a good match, but I was just like,
It was my
damn.
favorite match of the show, which probably isn't that shocking, but,
Yeah,
the only thing I have to say about this match is that watching Mayu's entrance
it was
broke
rough.
me. It broke me when she got in the ring and she just, like she took it in and, like, the way she threw the ball, and I was like, "This sucks, man. I hate this." Like, I can't do this for another year. I can't do this.
Yeah,
Um, but her and Mina did really good. So that's the bright spot. Like they're building towards their match, and part of me is hoping maybe Mina's energy can help, if that makes sense. Because like Mina's very positive. Obviously, she tried to tell me Stardom was fine. Stardom ain't fine, but you got to cut the promo. You can't be like,
I prefer the Oedo Tai way of going.
"This is true. This is true."
Stardom is fucked, but we got this. Shiver. It's great.
That's fair. That's the reality. Um, but yeah, it was tough. Like it was hard for me to focus for like the first 5 minutes because it kept replaying in my head. But Xena looked good in her return, so I think that's probably the main takeaway. Like I don't think she wrestled much after leaving Stardom,
She
from what
hasn't
I know.
wrestled at all, as far as I know. She might have wrestled a match, but
She wrestled on TNA's Showcase,
mm.
actually. Sorry, Impact Wrestling at the time, Showcase. So how
Yeah, I was gonna
dare
say
you?
she might have had like 2 matches
Yeah, I
post
think she had
Stardom.
like two. At least that were recorded. I mean, she could have wrestled in some Australian company that I've never heard of that
But even so,
Cage Match
cage
also
match,
didn't have.
yeah, exactly.
But I'm gonna assume that didn't happen.
But I will say Xena is quite good. I've always been of that opinion for the most part. Not always. At first, I was like, okay, she's kind of slow, but she always had something to her.
Yeah.
Not like okay, easy. Um, she always had something to her. I always thought, oh, she chops well. She hits pretty
Yeah.
hard. I always thought, oh, she's
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 strong.
competent. Yeah, she's strong. She immediately showed competency, and then by the time she was like leaving, I was like, oh, she's like good. She's like a good
Yeah.
wrestler. Um, and so I'm happy she's back. She did very well. Her and Mina did the dance, and Hanako reprised her role as the
That was
bouncer.
awesome. That popped
It's
me.
still I love that. Yeah, I love Hanako as the bouncer. I think it's sick. And yeah, I thought that Hanan loves fighting white women and she's good at it. So, you know,
She is good at
all
it.
her.
I think
Hanan's just
Zena's
good. That was actually one
well,
of the
that's
big
true.
takeaways from this match is that Hanan's good.
Hanan's very good,
Hmm.
and she is to me one of the biggest gets. I'm gonna keep doing this. Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna
It's
keep
okay.
doing it. She will be one of the biggest gets for either Stardom or Rossi when it's all said and done because she is coming to her own now, and
And I
she's
imagine both of
ready.
them really want her
You would hope so.
because, like, um, she just is like so. She's positioned as like the next up. You know, what I mean, like,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think she's like grown into that role so immediately. Um,
Mhm.
and especially again I was talking to Peps about this. uh Peps and I have been talking absurd amounts because he is always texting me about like the smallest things that happen. um but we were talking about it, that's like Bushiroad likes positioning heels very well. um so a Hanan Ruaka feud, if they can stay together wherever they go, uh it would work either place, right? Because obviously Hanan Ruaka, the feud started under Rossi. It started years ago. Um, but then as well, Bushiroad probably likes a Ruaka to mirror Hanan as Hanan starts to move her way up. I think that's probably something they would be interested in. So, Hanan has the keys to the kingdom wherever she goes, it feels like. Um, it's just a matter of, her making her choice. But yeah, I thought this match was very good. Hazuki got her ass beat, tagged out, and then tagged back in and got pinned. Um,
Nasty. Just
hated
absolutely
that.
nasty.
Um, that was the one where I was like, okay, homegirl's gone, right? But they on the Korakuen show, I think they paid it back, kind of, but not
Oh,
enough to where I'm still
Mayu
uh,
got pinned. It was nasty.
no, but it was an elimination, wasn't it?
Yeah, she got pinned.
Yeah, but
To be fair,
Hazuki
I think it
also
was
pinned.
I think it was her versus Micah and Mina at one point, so I guess it's not that
Correct.
bad. Which is
Wait a second.
on you say that out loud, that's tough.
I think this might actually. I think it is worse than you think it is.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
So they won 2-0. So Mina and Micah both survived.
Okay, I mean, again, that's not so it's not that
It
bad that
doesn't. It
Mina
doesn't make. It doesn't make Mayu look bad, but it just makes
it's
the team look
Stars.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, which Stars is so much better. But at the same time, in the history, we can't overlook this part. In the history of Stardom, going with the new faction isn't a crazy thing to do.
No. No. Not at all.
So, I look at it that way too, but I like to get a little over dramatic, I guess.
As do I. Homegirl's leaving tomorrow. Um, that's my own over dramatization. That's not true. That's fake news that I just perpetrated. Perpetrated. Yeah, it was fun. And then Mina talked about how she's gonna protect Stardom and like, Stardom's fine. Please don't think about it. Stop. I'm here. Hi. All that stuff. Um, yeah, and then Xena was like, "Hey, I'm back. By the way, hi guys." And they closed the show, even though there was a main event after the match. This was the semi-main
Yeah,
event.
yeah. I thought I watched him in the wrong order.
So did I. I was very confused. Um, Okay, and the main event, as I was speaking of, was the Uedo team of Natsuko Tora, Ruaka, and Starlight Kid defeating the unaffiliated team of Giulia, Suzuki, and Meisera. Natsuko defeated Giulia after like a finisher onslaught, including a bat hit from Momo Watanabe. That was all followed up by a big Swanton Bomb. Natsuko wins the match. I like this match as well. I don't really like this pairing, as everybody knows. I don't find a lot of the pairings in this match on paper very interesting, but I thought that everybody did pretty good work. Ruaka, I love Ruaka. I think Ruaka's sick. She wasn't in this match a ton, but I'm happy that she got a win for once. Like that was sick, even though it wasn't like her. Um, and yeah, I thought it was a solid match. How do you feel?
I like the chaos of the match, and
Mm,
I think that's kind of very fitting of the Giulia Suzu Mesera team. It's really weird because when I would watch house shows, obviously before the news
mm,
and everything, Suzu and Mesera would be the ones that jumped out to me, but I'm so laser focused on like everyone else right now for like
mhm.
different reasons, obviously, that I just like I didn't notice I was watching a Mesera and Suzu match until like halfway through. I was like, oh, hold on.
I should be
This is
enjoying this
usually
more.
this is usually my highlight of the night. What is
Yeah.
happening? And obviously they did great work. That was not a shock. And I was looking at them because they made their entrance and they did a pose, and I was like, man, this would have been so cool if like this was DDM at one point and not the final year of it, which was the
Not
Bari
what is
Bari
left.
Bombers.
Yeah.
Ugh, ugh. But yeah,
One
because
one
Mike was
point that
great in it.
I need to point out is that when the crowd brawling began, May Sarah tried to crawl under the ring, and Mom Watanabe just grabbed her leg like, "Nah, you ain't getting away." And I found
That's
that
real.
so funny. Oh
That's
man, May
real.
Sarah is a great character worker. She's a great worker in general, but I also think that she just like has such a great mind for like I don't know. She has great comedic timing. She has great just she's great. And yeah, that was a fun match. Like I said, Natsuko defeated Giulia, and after the match, she said, "Hey, I challenged you for the strong belt. By the way, I don't know if you heard, but now that I beat you, I'm setting the date. So we're doing that next week." And so they're doing that on Korakuen this upcoming weekend. Um,
Live.
Furthermore, Ruaka, yeah, live, for $20, something like that.
It's like
15.
yeah, it's like 15.
You know.
Koguma's back on it though.
Koguma is also back. That is also a news bit. We'll go through this later. I say later. We're already at
You're
an hour
learning
in.
how to host this all the time.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm learning on the job. Um, Afterwards, Raka grabbed the mic and was like, "Hey, me and Kid are gonna be wrestling on What's it called? Kid,
Fantastic
what's it called?
Mania.
I don't know. That's what she said. That's
I
what she
know,
said.
I know.
I
Which was
didn't forget.
awesome. Which was awesome.
She's like, "Fantastic." I don't remember the name, but I'm gonna be working there. It's gonna be New Japan. And then Starlight Kid's like, "Yeah, Fantastica Mania.
It's
We're gonna be on
crazy that
Fantastica Mania."
Baraka's on a New Japan show.
She's so real. That's the thing. And we're gonna talk about a spot she did in at the
We're
Korakuen show that I
previewing that
saw
match.
online. Oh yeah, 100%. Um, can we just preview the show? No, Alex kill us.
What the
But yeah,
Alex
so
care? Alex is gone for a month and a half.
yeah, but Alex is still editing the show, so
I don't care.
he could just not upload it.
Nah, won't do that. That's too
But
far.
yeah, he lose the yeah. But so basically Kid was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be wrestling on Fantastica Mania." Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Natsuko closed the show saying, "Stardom is not safe. It is not even slightly secure, but Oedo is taking over. Shiver in your sleep, baby." Which "Shiver in your sleep," coolest fucking catchphrase I've ever heard. I love it so much. Uh I think this top heel just like saying have nightmares like I will be in your nightmares is like insane. So shouts out to Natsuko Tora and shouts out to Uedo Tai. I thought they did well on the show overall. Um, but yeah, that's the Fuji show. It's the biggest chunk of our review because the rest was not up. Um,
Yay, who doesn't love results?
Woo! On the 12th of February, Stardom was in Toyohashi. Toyohashi 2024.
Correct.
They got a crowd of 339 fans.
Sold out.
Also, yeah, that's a good number for a house show such as this. Um,
Not
the
supposed
first
on the
match.
poster.
Oh yeah, that's how you get butts in seats. Um, unironically. The first match was Suzu Suzuki defeating Yuzuki in 9 minutes 54 seconds with
Best thing
the
that Taro Okada booked.
Dolphin Buster. Is that the half Nelson? I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
That's crazy that she went with that.
Sounds like a cool match. Next up was a three-way match. It was Saki Kashima defeating Lady C with the Revival. The other participant was Hazuki. This match lasted 7 minutes 45 seconds. It was at this point that I was like, okay, Homegirl is definitely gone.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember when the result came up and I sent it to you and Xavier. I was like, "Oh."
huh. Like
I was like, "Oh,
what?
she couldn't even win this one."
One is one thing, but Lady C
Yeah.
and Saki Kashima, like it is a bit that Hazuki always gets left out of the finishes in triple
Mhm.
threat matches. Like that is like a recurring theme that's happened
Yeah.
in recent times. But still, I was kind of like, huh, that's a
Mhm.
choice. Um, Next up was a match between Oedo Tai and EXV. Starlight Kid and Ruaka defeated Waka Tsukiyama and Micah. Ruaka defeated Waka with the freezer bomb. That's the real shit right there. That's real. Hell
Well,
yeah.
yeah. In a twist of the century, it is a Wado tie that benefits the most.
Like I said, Bushiroad does like heels,
Yeah, they do.
as we know. At
It's
least
very
these
true.
ones are better than Bushiroads for the most part.
You hear
Maybe
that,
not the
Xavier?
house.
Hey, Xavier, you hear that?
I immediately said maybe not the house. You know, I think the house has its qualities. Um,
House always wins.
The house does always win. Um, it is so sick that Ruaka in 2024 got a pinfall win over in a 2-on-2 match against the world champion. That's all I want to say. Like I know it wasn't over her, but like it's the smaller the match is, the more meaningful it is in
Mhm.
a sense. So it's really funny that Ruaka got a pinfall in a match that was against the world champion. That's all I'm saying. Shouts out to the Kappa. No, I mean the monster. That's an old one. That's for the old heads out there. Uh, the Kappa monster gimmick. But next up was a 4-on-4 match. It was once again God's Eye versus Queen's Quest. It was Ronnie Yagami, Ami Sore, Mirai, and Shuri defeating Miyu Amasaki, Saya Kamatani, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita. Uh, Shuri defeated Miyu Amasaki with a sleeper hold. Damn, she
Oh,
loves knocking homegirl out. That's crazy.
that's awesome.
If I had a nickel for every time that Shuri held Miyu Amasaki in her hands as she was passed out, I would have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's kind of funny it happened twice.
Yeah, the
Um,
fact that you have 2 is enough for me.
yeah,
That's
exactly. Ten
crazy.
cents. 10 cents on that. That's kind of wild. The next match was Yuna Mizumori and Tam Nakano of Cosmic Angels defeating Kurara Sayaka and is that May Sarah and May Sarah. Oh, oh.
You know what's crazy? After this match, this is when Sayaka was like, "Hey, can I join?"
Tam beat her with the fucking violet shooting. That's rough.
Oof.
That move hasn't beat anybody in like 4 years.
No, no, it hasn't. Damn.
And yeah, Sayaka Kurara killed her career by joining the Cosmic Angel.
No, no,
No,
no.
I
It'll
know
only
she's
be
definitely way better off in Cosmic Angels than anywhere else.
yeah.
Right now, but
This gives
the,
her a chance to be popular too.
oh yeah, I mean 100%. Um, just like on a principle level, this is great for her.
You know
Uh,
what's crazy?
mm,
Sayaka Kurara is better than Mina and Unagi were when they joined the group.
yeah, probably.
Feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying now before anyone's like, "Hey." No, no, I'm saying when they
Well,
join.
Unagi was a great seller, but she was bad at
That's
everything
true.
else.
That's true.
Uh, I think Carrara overall has a better. Yeah, no, you're right. Um,
She hit spears like Goldberg. Again,
yeah,
neither of them
can't
were.
beat that. Can't beat that. Um, the next match was a bout between is this Oh My Julia? It is Oh My Julia versus Oedo Tai XL. Um, somebody won and wait, did it somebody win and lose?
Somebody
No, it
no.
was a double ring out.
Yeah.
After 16 minutes, What the fuck? This is what I mean. This like I know it's just a principle, and I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, there's no time limit draws anymore because it's 20 minutes." This is what we get. We get an extra minute and a half for a double ring out. Okay. Um, Next up was the main event. It was the Stars team of Hanan, Saida, and Mayu Iwatani defeating the EXV team of Hanako, Saida. Wait, no, what? Huh? What?
Why'd you say Saida?
Because
It's Xena.
it's all no, I know it's all out of order.
Oh,
Uh,
it's Mayu,
defeated
Hanan,
Hanako's
Saida.
defeated Hanako, Xena, and Mina Shirakawa. When I translated it, it translated like in a weird way. Um, yeah, Hana won with the blockbuster hold over Hanako Ueda. After the match, even though they lost, Hanako's like, "Hey, I still want that belt," and they're like, "Okay." So that's what happened there, word for word. That was not paraphrasing. um, yeah. So Hanako and Waka officially threw down the challenge for the new blood belts, though there is a challenging team before them set up for this upcoming weekend.
Mhm.
And the last show we have to
Oh, hey,
review.
hey, hey! Hanan announced Kogamu's
Oh
back.
yeah, Koguma's coming back. That's what Hanan said, was because
There
Hanan got to
goes.
close the show. She said, "Hey, Koguma, she's back! Yay!" Yeah, again, word for word. Um, then earlier today there was a Stardom Korakuen Hall show. Um, Stardom and Korakuen Hall 2024 February 1. It's not February 1st. Uh, don't know why. Like I know there's a second one that's happening, but they could have come up with a better name than that. I'm just a criticizer though. Uh,
Notably, wasn't live.
yeah, notably was not live. Despite some believing it was, some being told it was not live. Unfortunately, uh,
They even
though
specified that in when they tweet and when they put out the article today. It was not
that was
live.
really funny. That that was really funny. Um, uh,
It's okay. I
uh,
didn't really need the show to be live.
no, I know. I was thinking of like a joke to make that wouldn't be too bad, but I'll just move on. Yeah, the card was all right. The first match was a singles match between Mirai and Rana Yagami. Mirai won in 8 minutes and 34 seconds with the Scorpion leg lock. Yeah, but it's like a
Yeah,
seated
so she
Scorpion
made a
leg
tap
lock.
out.
Uh, yeah, she made her
Hey,
tap out.
she knows Sting's retiring. She said, "Let me
You know, it's a real
shout out
shame
the
that she
other
doesn't use the
icon."
Haas of Pain. Because then she'd have all of the Team Angle guys, all of their
That'd be
moves.
awesome.
She also the Haas of Pain is just a sick move, so she should do that.
She she should just keep like taking moves from like all these
Oh
random sick wrestlers.
fuck, maybe my Sakurai is leaving. The next
Well,
match was
why type
uh
in?
was Yuna Mizumori defeating my Sakurai with the Tropicana,
Damn,
whatever.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
one of these people have a
I
championship match in 2 days. Um,
oof,
yeah, so
oof.
cool. The next match was Utami Hayashishita defeating Lady C with the German suplex. Um, yeah, El Desperado was rooting for Lady C to do her best, as was Utami Hayashishita, and yeah, you know, an expected win for Utami over Lady C, but they are tag team partners, so I imagine this is probably pretty fun, at least in 9 minutes. I
Why
imagine
did
they
no one
really
tell me
tried hard.
Julian Maysara and Suzu dropped an album cover?
Oh yeah,
It was the greatest
that's the
picture
front
ever.
picture. Probably should have used that for the, but they are so there's nothing going on. I'm gonna be real.
They're awesome. Shut up.
They're awesome, but they're not going to be on the cover of this week's episode because like
You know who is?
Oedo Tai,
I was
Ruaka
gonna say you.
specifically.
I was gonna say you probably do because I don't.
Yeah, it's I put Oedo Tai because the Starlight Kid and Ruaka thing, and also the Natsuko thing, and also the
Yeah, big week for them, for
yeah.
sure.
So you know, the next match was Oedo Tai, the Oedo Tai team of Fukigen Death, Rina, and was that Ruaka? Who else is in? Yeah, and Ruaka defeating the Queen's Quest team of Miyu Amasaki, Sai Kamitani, and Azumi. Rina defeated Miyu Amasaki with the double knees from the top rope, the Chris Wolf knees. That's an interesting result. Don't know what that tells me.
Yeah.
But one
Uh-huh.
one thing that I saw on Twitter that was very funny is that Azumi got in there with Ruaka and was running routes with her. Like she was just like running circles around her, and Ruaka's
Mhm.
just blown up on the ground, and Azumi just yells, "And you think you could deal with luchadors? You got to get better than that!" And I found that so funny. That Azumi just like wrestled circles around her, uh, and bumped her, and then she's like, "Come on, I thought you were going to be wrestling luchadors. You gotta, what you doing here?" And that's a great bit from Azumi. The fastest wrestler on earth.
Luchadoras. Luchadoras.
Luchadoras, yeah. But Oedo Tai winning the weakest Oedo Tai team possible, defeating Sai Kamatani and Azumi is interesting.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say anything more. I don't know anymore, but it's interesting.
I mean, this is gonna be the show until people leave. You're gonna just be like,
Yeah,
"Huh, interesting." And it is funny that Oedo Tai keeps winning, though. Like that is just like the
and
one
the weakest Oedo Tai team
constant.
too.
Yeah, the one constant of this entire run of shows is that they just keep winning. They notably lost their bigger match on the show, but I digress.
Yeah, but they'll pay that back. Um, Next up was Sayaka Kurara's first outing as a Cosmic Angel. It was Saki Kashima, Shuri, and Ami Sore defeating Sayaka Kurara, Soriano, and Tam Nakano. Um, Saki Kashima won with the. Oh no, Shuri won with the sleeper hold. I was gonna say, there's no way Saki Kashima won with the sleeper hold. Yeah. So Shuri's just been choking motherfuckers out. That's been her mo since the Rossi departure, and I find that very funny. Again, that is not me drawing any correlation. I just find that cool. That she's like, you know what? I think it's time for me to start choking motherfuckers out. Like that's real. Um, Next up, unless you have anything to say about Shuri choking motherfuckers out,
It's Beast.
it is Beast. I agree. Um, Next up was a 5-on-5 elimination match. EXV, Xena, Hanako, Wakasukiyama, Mina Shirakawa, and Maika defeated the Stars team of Yuzuki, Hazuki, Hanan, Ida, and Mayu Iwatani. Um, looking at some of these eliminations real quick, and
I think they're all on the English Twitter.
yeah, I'm on the roster page thingy.
I got you. I got you right here.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
All right. So Ito eliminated Waka after hitting a
The
lariat
lariat. Yeah.
by pinning her. Oh my god, it was all pinning. Oh my god.
Hmm.
Oh, there was one over the top rope, which was Suzuki.
Hazuki.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Xena pinned Yuzuki after Thunderstruck. Um, Hanako
Got
got
pinned by
pinned
Hanan.
with 17.
Hmm.
Ida ran in and lariated Xena, and Hazuki pinned Xena with the Hazuki straw. Micah powerbound Hazuki over the top rope to eliminate her, and then Micah pinned Hanan with the Michinoku driver number 2. Mina pinned Ida with the figure 4 leg lock, or sorry, defeated her with the figure 4 leg lock, and then Mayu lost to the figure 4 driver Mina when it was her against the two leaders of EXV.
Yeah. So Hazuki got her pinfall back over Xena. Um, so all that stuff I just said, maybe not true. Uh,
All that stuff we just said for the past, yeah, forget
bump
about
that. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Oh no, I still think Hazuki probably leaves. But yeah, so this was the match that Mayu kind of got really emotional after the match. After, and yeah, uh, Kokoma's back next up, so cool.
Hopefully she
And
raises spirits. That's kind of what I'm hoping
yeah,
for with her
I mean she
more
has
than
been
anything.
around, so hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's a
Being in
bit.
the ring
I hope
will
I hope
help.
the I hope the house shows are a bit more, you know, in fun with Koguma around, which I'm sure they will be. And then the main event of the evening was Mei Sarah, Suzuki, and Giulia defeating the team of Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, and Natsuko Tora.
It's a big main
Julia,
event.
is this
It's
the
all
main
top
event or is it
talent.
not?
It was. I
Yeah,
said it's a
it is
big
the main
one.
event.
Like that's all the top
Yeah,
talent.
before Korakuen, it only drew 600 people. So
Well, you run it twice,
yeah,
and you don't name a
and
card until
this is the bad.
Monday.
This is the weaker card that happens midweek and was just announced the other day.
I can't stress enough. You don't name the card. So you're trying to pack a weekday Corkin, coming
Mm,
off the heels of the biggest news in company history,
mm,
and one you kind of put together a half-ass card, but the card doesn't come out until like Sunday,
correct.
and then you have another Corkin right after. This entire show couldn't have spelled more disaster. And I'm sure the talents tried and they did their best, but like there's no other reason to think they should have had anything less with that number, unfortunately. I mean anything more than that number,
Mm.
unfortunately. I'm
This is just the state
getting
we're in.
frustrated. I'm just getting frustrated.
Julia pinned Natsuko with the Northern Lights bomb and then made fun of her for not having eyebrows. Um, that's true. And yeah, that's the end of the show. It's the end of that
Whoa.
show. We do have some previewing to do. First, we have some news that we should probably jump on a
Do we
little
have
bit.
previewing to do? There's like nothing. Oh wait,
There's
yeah,
two
never mind.
shows.
There's two
Um,
shows, but there's one card.
oh, this should be, and I have fucking hell, man.
Of course, it doesn't have a card. The Corkin has 2 matches.
Wait, the Corkin doesn't even have a car. Oh, it does. It has. Oh wait, no, it does. Fuck this company, bro. I'm tired. This isn't 2.5 days. This card is in 2.5 days, and they do not have anything on it. What is happening? um. Okay, well, I guess we can briefly talk about Fantastica Mania.
Yeah! Woo!
Because let me grab the official match calling. Yep, Starlight Kid and Ruaka are set to join Fantastica Mania on February 17th. Um, it is possible that this intersects with the wait, no, this is on
At the same time, bro.
yeah, so yeah, they will not be on the Korakuen show. They will
They're gonna
instead
be in
be on the
Chiba.
yeah, they'll be in Chiba, Japan, and Makuhari specifically to face Luvia and the Harochita. I think that's how you
Yes.
pronounce it. But yeah, so they will be facing them. This will be the first women's match on a you know domestic New Japan show, a Japanese New Japan show since I believe Azumi Mercedes Suzuki. Um, I want to say
Correct.
there hasn't been one since then. And yeah, this should be good. I have seen good stuff from Luvia.
Yes.
Double L's mess
Uvia?
me up all
Is
the
it
time.
Uvia? Or Luvia? I have no idea.
Uvia. I think it
Uvia.
would be
I think it's
Uvia.
Uvia. Double L.
I've seen some good stuff from her. I have not seen much from her partner, but this could be fun.
They're a good
Ruaka
team.
is an interesting choice, because she's
It was
big.
my expected choice.
What do you say?
It was my expected choice, assuming Kid was one of them.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. I was kind of thinking Kid and Momo, but also like Ruaka can lose, and I imagine they probably
Mm-hmm.
want to put over the CMLL talent here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm happy with it. Ruaka is interesting because she's like big and strong, but she's not that great of a base, which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of like what you need to do. Like that's like the entire point of a big and strong luchador half the time, or luchadora in this case. But I'm interested in this match. I think that I'm always happy to see Ruaka getting more opportunities, and I'm happy to see this on a New Japan show. You know what I mean? We don't get much of that. It's a shame that they didn't run this in Corkin like the next day, because don't they go to Corkin the next day for Fantastica Mania?
Yep.
Yeah, I wish this could have been Corkin instead, but can't always get what
It's
you want.
fun though. I'm just happy they're doing it, truthfully.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Like I saw they were coming over and I was like, if this isn't Stardom talent, so help me.
Oh, Alex was saying that it was going to be Ice Ribbon.
That's crazy. That was never gonna
Well,
happen on New Japan.
because they have a CML has
I
the
know,
partnerships, but
I know, but come on.
it's New
I
Japan.
always expected kids, so I'm happy I was right.
I was
Um,
expecting like a brief return of Mask Fiesta. Maybe we get
mhm.
the Red Viper, Utami Hayashishita.
That's a
Uh,
crazy expectation.
yeah,
But
Fantastica girl.
I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm happy it's on a
As
show
am I.
that's actually airing as well.
Yes,
Like if they put it on like the Thursday show, I'm like, you mother.
I would have been pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Big
this
spot
is
for
also.
Waka. Gotta be happy
I
for
think
her.
this is a solid card
It is a
throughout
good
for the
card. Of
most
course
part.
it's a card. It's Fantastic Mania.
Oh yeah, this is the Brilliante Junior Soberano versus Doki and Templario. That
That's
that's
crazy that you said it like that. You're like, this is the
well because these are four of my guys, bro.
I
Well,
know.
three of
I
my
know.
guys. I haven't seen a ton of Templario, but
That's crazy. Templario is arguably the best one in the match.
probably yeah. But I just haven't seen as much of
Soberano
him
Jr. is great
as
though.
Soberon Junior and Doki and Brilliante Junior. I've become a very big fan of recently. Um,
Tiger Mask.
That's always what ruins your day is that Tiger
Yeah.
Mask is here. Um, but yeah, that's the brief look at uh, Fantastica Mania. They also have the renders, which they usually didn't have renders of the women. Um, but New Japan has these, which is interesting.
As they
Um,
should.
yeah, you would
But
think, but in previous times they did not. So,
mhm.
but okay, yeah, that's the Fantastica Mania on the 17th. As for the Korakuen Hall show on the 17th as well, it will feature two title matches, and the rest of the card is currently unknown. First title match will be Saida and Hanan defending the New Blood Tag Team Championships against Chan Yoda and Mai Sakurai. Um, Gotta assume Wingori's winning here, and we will see what happens when they face Hanako and Waka. I mean, I think,
Mhm.
and again, this has been the topic of the entire show. I'm sure everybody's kind of sick of hearing it, but I think a lot of the title matches are what's going to kind of tell you what's going on a little bit.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about the main event, where I think that will definitely tell us what's going on.
Well, we
Um,
know what's going on.
yeah,
That's the thing.
exactly. It'll tell us what we already know there. But this one's a bit more up in the air because it's very possible that three of these people leave. Right? None of these people are confirmed. Chan Yoda does not work here. Uh, so but
It does not work here. No,
three of these
it doesn't.
people are completely unconfirmed. It's very possible that any or all of them leave. So I don't think this is very telling of anything. What will
No.
be telling, I mean, it will be telling if my Sakurai wins, then that she's probably staying. If my Sakurai and Chanyo to win, then they're
Sure.
both probably going to be around for a while.
Mhm.
And Ida and Hanan are definitely not. But what's more likely is that Ina and Hanan win this match and then presumably drop the belts to Hanako and Waka, who are definitely staying. Well, I'm pretty confident are staying, considering every single one of their associates is staying. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. It's a weird match to look at because you look at both sides, you're like, well, you could go. Um, but it's definitely like whoever
maybe Chan Yoda's the
loses,
big pickup for Rossi.
beast. That'd be sick. Good for Chan Yoda. I think that is the way that we look at this match, though. Is like whoever loses is probably leaving
Yeah.
imminently, at least.
Um.
You know.
Yeah, and like I said, my Sakurai is maybe like if Stars loses, they are gone like yesterday. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like,
notably, notably,
hmm,
Giulia is leaving, and who is my Sakurai closest to?
correct.
So makes you think. We'll
She
see,
literally
though.
said she literally like it's very funny looking at that DDM split, by the way, and like with the power of hindsight. The tech was like, I guess we'll just be separate from now on. I guess this is like, this is
Yeah.
the end of us. And my Sakura's like, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. I swear to God, please. I will
Tek-
never leave your side.
Tekla is a
What
weird
the
one in
fuck is
all
yeah?
this, by the
I didn't
way.
really have time to like talk much about that last week, but I did talk about how it was weird.
Yeah.
Still weird. She's still not here. by the
No,
way.
she is not at all. She is. I, I don't know what she's doing.
Neither do I.
She seemingly called her shot for the title that she's not getting, because I'm assuming obviously in the main event here. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that if anyone wants to watch the show, it'll be live at 9:30 Eastern
PM?
Friday night. Yeah.
Oh
It's
damn.
the show starts in Tokyo at 11:30.
Oh yeah, they do the early Korakuens
So,
for
if
Stardom.
you wanna check it out, it's available.
Damn, that's 7:30 for me. That is way too
That's
early.
like TJPW time.
That's like earlier than TGP. Well, I don't watch the undercard
No,
TGPW. That's why.
this is yeah,
Um,
yeah, there you go. I was like, "No, no, no,
yeah,
it's
usually
pretty on."
I usually skip to the top half. Um, yeah, that damn. I hope that the rest of the card surrounding it is pretty fun. Koguma being there will be a delight, and it's. I'm hopeful that they kind of put a little bit more into a card that they expect you to pay for, to watch.
Hey, at
Which
least it's cheaper.
the issue, I'm cool with it, but like the issue is that like this means they will take longer to upload it on Star World, because
Mm,
that's just what they do with shows they do live. They take
mhm.
an extra day or two, on top of what they
Can we even
already would
order
take.
it? Nope.
I haven't even checked.
The link that they have is broken. Awesome. That's so sick.
Man, I wonder why Alex doesn't want to do the show. It really just breaks my brain.
Uh,
Um, I know this is a very negative Nancy episode, y'all, and like it happens.
get
This is the
used
first.
to it.
This is the first. Okay, to be fair, this is the first like real episode since the Rossi news, and also that Mayu video really bummed both of us out this morning, and it was just like, man, fuck this company.
I've already been bummed out. I said I was
Yeah,
gonna retire. Listen, this has been a long week,
no
and
doubt.
that video absolutely nuked any interest I had in talking about any of this. So I
Yeah,
do apologize.
we will probably be in a bit better. Hopefully, I hope. I hope we will be in a bit better spirits next week. We didn't even talk about the main event of the show. Main event will be Giulia versus Natsuko Tora for the Strong Women's Championship. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go full fantasy booking. I think Natsuko wins with the help of Tekla.
Ooh, ooh, okay, okay. See, I thought of this as Natsuko wins, and we just get the belt on Stephanie Vaquera as soon as possible. But
Yes, but I think we do that as well. But I think first,
that's crazy.
I think
Windy City
first,
Riot, Natsuko Tora versus Stephanie Vaquera.
man, that sounds sick. Stephanie back here is a fucked fucker. They could fucking kill each other. I think it'd be sick.
It's just like weird to think about. That's the match,
Yeah.
probably. Unless
I mean, to be
like
fair, there was a Women's of Honor championship match between Mayu Iwatani and Natsuko Tora, um,
that's true. That's true.
back in the day. And yeah,
So
this
I
would
guess
be this would be Natsuko's first singles championship victory ever if she does
ever
win against
because
Julia.
Julie is leaving the company.
Yep. Which I mean, if you remember correctly, the only reason she's the leader of Oedo Tai is because Suzuki left the company and
Also
Kagetsu,
true.
obviously. But you know,
Also true.
it was mainly it would have been Kagetsu to Hazuki and not Kagetsu to Natsuko if Hazuki wasn't leaving. So Natsuko often the benefactor of circumstances. Whatever the opposite of the victim of circumstances is, that's Natsuko Tora. 'Cause she just keeps winning every time fuck shit happens. It's just like shit. I guess I'm just on top again. Um, but yeah, that's that card. Are you Julia and Natsuko don't have all that great a chemistry.
Not at all.
Um,
But from the one tag match I saw, it was good enough.
yeah, and like I said, I,
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was a bit overbooked, which is fine at this point. I don't really give a fuck.
It's gonna go
Uh,
full House of Torture.
hell yeah, because the house always wins. What's all their weapons gonna be? Because like one of them they all have weapons. They need to make that
Like I
that
said, they
shirt
already
like House of
have
Torture
weapons,
does.
bro.
Yeah. Um, One of them's got a box. Ain't that crazy to think about? That one of them just has a
Oh,
suitcase and it's
Ruaka
just like a
won't be
special.
there, so
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a good point.
oh, wait a minute. Now I'm thinking Tekla
Mm,
makes a little more sense now 'cause
yeah.
there's not as many people at odds there, and
Because
mathematically,
my Sakurai could help take out Momo or whatever, you know.
that's a crazy thing to think. There's no way my Sakurai's taking on Momo. Momo might kill her, but yeah, I'm with
Well,
you.
they would
I understand.
brawl out. If this is
Yeah,
like overbooked House of Torture type of thing,
yeah,
you have to find pairings. I think my Sakurai, Suzu, maybe Meisera could take out the clown, Rina, and Momo, and then Tekla comes out and helps Natsuko. Um, or Tekla can come out and it looks like she's going to help Giulia and then do the big turn, which also makes a lot of sense. Um, we'll see. That's just me like kind of like theorizing what could happen because I imagine Tekla does come back to this company and she will be a heel just because that just makes sense. Um, and there's not really a place for her outside of next to Natsuko. Plus, in the event that Momo Watanabe, a Starlight Kid, somebody like that does leave, Arena does leave, it kind of adds to the heel faction. Which having a healthy heel faction is probably what they need more than anything else right now. You know,
mhm,
if half the company leaves, worst case, they could just make it Oedo Tai versus Hontai, right? They could just kill all
yeah,
the factions and make it, a good versus evil type of gimmick. Um, but you need a heel faction in that sense.
mhm,
So I imagine they do put Tekla in with Oedo Tai so that they kind of add to their numbers in the event. Not only if somebody leaves from Oedo Tai, but also if they have to resort to dropping some factions, they're gonna want a strong Oedo tie to put over other groups or the other
right.
group if the worst case scenario happens for them. Um, so yeah, that's all. Dylan's brain works in mysterious ways. Obviously, uh, none. It's very possible none of that shit happens, but that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. And like Scotty said, the Shibuya show on the 18th has nothing on it.
Love that.
Yeah. Um, And it's a Wednesday. It's not like I'm recording early. It's like we record the same time that we do every week.
No,
Is
they're just
they're just
behind.
yeah. So I guess that's the end of the show. um, have any closing statements? Anything else you would like to chat about very briefly before we head out? Um, we should have plenty of opportunities to talk, so I don't think there should be too much. But anything from this week you wanna uh look into a little bit further because we do have another like 15 minutes on our allotted time from Alex Richards.
I am dead inside until Mayu leaves this company. That is all I got to say.
That's valid. Um, yeah, I guess that's the end of that. Again, my bad for this being kind of a not even low energy, but just kind of a negative Nancy uh type of show. But I had a stressful morning. Uh, The Mayu video was sad. Scott's been going through it for a week because this shit's been fucking stressful for him, as I've seen firsthand. It's been a a big, stressful, chaotic couple weeks in the wonderful world of Stardom. But I hope you enjoyed the show nonetheless. We will be back next week to talk about the Korakuen show, maybe both Korakuen shows, depending on if anything interesting or any match was like particularly great, which it didn't look like any of them were. So I think we will just skip the show that happened this morning in terms of review because like none of this looks particularly like insane. Um, and there's no time matches on that. So we'll talk about the Korakuen and the Shibuya
Oh, we'll
show.
talk about Fantastic Mania though. Don't you
Oh, and we
worry.
will we will definitely talk about Fantastica Mania, the Fantastica Mania match. And then we will preview Gunma and Utsunomi. Um, damn, when does the Cinderella start?
Not till March.
The 9th.
We
So
should get the Cinderella announcement this weekend.
true. So we will probably
Is
talk
when
about
it gets.
Cinderella announcements as well.
Just gonna look at it and be like, how much of a mess is this?
I wonder if we get the brackets. That's the thing. I think we will get the brackets this weekend because
Yeah, my
they
guess
don't
is we
have
get the
time.
matchup.
They don't have time to just not give the brackets because in previous years they've run it so they announce the participants very early and they announce the brackets like a couple weeks early and then they do the show. This year
Yeah.
they don't have another show to you know
No. Yeah.
So I was also thinking about that is that they don't have another Korakuen show until everybody leaves.
Holy shit.
Oh wait, hold on, wait.
No, they
Unless
gotta have one in the middle of March.
it depends on where the Cinderella tournament
I think
shows
there's
are.
one. There might be a
Okay, yeah.
Cinderella one at Corkin.
Are they both?
Yeah, the 10th on Sunday.
Okay, yeah. The second day of the Cinderella will be in Korakuen Hall. Um, but yeah, otherwise this weekend is like the last. They'll probably put championship matches on that second day of Cinderella. So we'll see. But yeah, this could be the last big show until the Cinderella final. That
Mhm.
has a championship match on it, and then the Cinderella final is the last
Cinderella
show before the end
final
of
is
the
on a
month.
Wednesday.
Correct. This company is getting fucked with the schedule. There is a lot to be
Why
concerned
is
about
the
with them.
Cinderella final on a Wednesday?
Is that a special day in Japan? It's the 20th of March. That feels like it has some
It
significance.
has to be. They never do pay-per-views on Wednesdays unless it's like Queendom.
Uh, yeah, it's Equinox, vernal Equinox Day. It's a public holiday. Um, yeah, so that's why it
Crazy.
is a. It's the beginning of spring.
I'd be more upset, but like I said, I'm dead inside until Mayu gets out of here, so I probably won't even care that much by the time it comes around. What a sad life. What a sad reality that I'm living in right now. I hate this.
This is great.
Alex, you made the right call, man.
Oh my god, no! Please don't leave me to. Um. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna close the show. Go check out the No Limit Wrestling Show on YouTube, and go check me out on Twitter at xxichiban because I'm 21 in Roman numerals, but number one in your heart. And Scott, your your uh your
Yeah, follow
Twitter.
me at Scotty Wrestling.
How
Or
do you feel
don't.
about that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode this past weekend? I know you're a big Curb
Um,
guy.
so funny enough, I'm watching through it right now.
Mm.
I'm on season 7, so I haven't started the new one yet.
Ah, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Big Curb guy. I remember you mentioning something about Curb the other day. I was like, "How are you talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm?" Big Curb guy. But yeah, we will actually close the show now. If you
That's
want to
crazy.
stand,
What a way to
you may
end.
stand. If you want to sit, you may. This is the big goodbye. You know what I mean? If you want to stand, you may stand. You want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
Ijo.
Hey, you finally said it. You never say it. It's great. It's great.